And joining us now with more is the chair of the Democratic National Committee, Tom Perez. Tom, so good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Lindsay, it's always great to be with you.
Now, we just heard from David Wright all about Iowa and being first. And lately, there's been a lot of pushback about Iowa being first. In fact, one op-ed just last week said, and I want to quote, "The current system is a form of white privilege that warps the process." Any thoughts about reordering the primary calendar and hearing from a more diverse voting population right off the bat?
Well, Lindsay, my focus right now is on making sure that our Iowa caucus goes off flawlessly, and we're working very closely with the Iowa Democratic Party on that end. After the primary process is over, we have a nominee and we win the presidency. We're going to have a series of conversations about the future, but my focus is in the here and now.
So both Julian Castro and Cory Booker were quite vocal about asking for the DNC to change the criteria to allow for more diversity on the debate stage. And at the time you said no, you would not change the rules. But then just last week you overhauled the rules, eliminating the donor threshold, and by doing so opened up the door for Michael Bloomberg to appear on the debate stage perhaps in mid-February. In response, a Sanders senior advisor said, quote, "To now change the rules in the middle of the game to accommodate Mike Bloomberg, who is trying to buy his way into the Democratic nomination, is wrong. That's the definition of a rigged system." How do you respond to that, and how do you explain this rule change?
We set forth a year ago the first set of criteria for the debates, and we started out at 1%. We moved up to 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. We gave everybody ample notice because you have to show that you're making progress. So let me go back to December. Cory Booker did not make the debate stage because he was polling at 2 and 3%. And nobody who's been under 4% in December has ever won a Democratic primary. And we were very clear early on that if you once we got to voting, that we were going to put rules in place that reflected the fact that people had voted. So if you get a delegate in Iowa, or you get a delegate in New Hampshire, that is a really good indicator that you're getting traction. One delegate, you got to get 1,991 delegates to win, and we're simply saying you've got to get one delegate. If you think it's unfair, and I don't know whether Mayor Bloomberg will make the debate stage, you have to get 10%. In at least 4 polls prior to Nevada, or one delegate in Iowa or New Hampshire. He's not going to get that because he's not competing there. And so if people, and I understand that people may think that it's unfair that someone can effectively buy their way on, and my response to that is get out there and vote and make that view heard. We've got Super Tuesday coming up in March 3rd. And there are a lot of states that are going to be in play that day. And we owe it to voters to make sure that whoever it is that's at the top of the polling list or who's accumulated delegates has an opportunity to make their voice heard and their vision presented to the American people.
And of course, as you know, Hillary Clinton has been quite critical of Bernie Sanders' campaign and his supporters in recent weeks, of course, saying nobody likes Bernie, but also talking about the division between Sanders supporters and the rest of the party. Well, one of his most prominent surrogates, of course, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, said this over the weekend. Take a listen.
I don't remember if you guys remember last week when someone by the name of Hillary Clinton said that we're not going to boo, we're not going to boo. We're classy here.
No,
classy.
I'll boo. Boo. You all know I can't be quiet. No, we're going to boo.
And in fairness, she has since walked back that booing. But are you concerned about this infighting and the potential for a fractured party where the nominee is potentially not backed by all Democrats?
Listen, we're focused on the future, and we've undertaken a host of reforms that are designed to bring us together. You'll notice now, prior to the Iowa caucuses, there were no delegates that had been accumulated by any candidates. Why? Because we reformed the superdelegate system so that we've returned power to the people. That's a big part of what we're doing. Every candidate for president has taken a pledge, and they've done so very willingly and enthusiastically to support whoever the winner is. Why? Because we understand that this isn't about any one candidate or any one person. This is about preserving our democracy.
And I know you're not going to say who you think is going to win tonight, but how do you think this process is going to play out in terms of, do you think that there will be a clear front runner before we get to Super Tuesday, or is this likely a dogfight right up to the convention?
Well, this is going to be up for the voters to decide. We're starting a 90-day stretch. 90 days from now, the end of April, we will have allocated 90% of the delegates to the convention. So this is indeed a sprint. We have a deep bench. I don't know who the winner is going to be, but what I do know is whoever the winner is, everybody's going to rally around him or her, because we know that our future demands it. Our democracy is truly on the ballot, and we have a deep bench of candidates, and I'm very, very optimistic moving forward.
So bottom line, you do not think that there will be a fractured party. Our thanks to you, Tom Perez. We appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.